Hi and welcome to another Club 100 karting video. It's now round 9 of the Sprint 60 Championship, and this takes us back to Whilton Mill for the second time this season. The previous race at Whilton Mill was easily my poorest performance to date, and I was hoping that the change of conditions would mean a better result for me. I really didn't do well last time out. Round 2 was the beginning of May. It was pretty cold and fairly wet. I struggled with the lack of grip and had multiple spins, both in practice, qualifying and the races. In fact, I managed to spin on the very first corner of practice, which was a very good way to start. And when I arrived at the endurance, halfway through the endurance race, it was foggy and it really wasn't very warm. So I was hoping that things would improve by the time we went out on track just after lunchtime. And as you can see, I shouldn't have worried, because by the time we were out on track, the sun was out, the fog had been burnt off, and it was pretty good conditions really, to be fair. Everything had warmed up considerably. Didn't really make a huge amount of difference, if I'm honest. I reverted back to my previous trick of going faster in the practice part of the combined session and slower in qualifying. And I really didn't put a decent lap in during the 5 minutes of qualifying, and ended up 34th on the grid, which was kind of disappointing, to be honest, given my much better performance at Landau. But obviously wanted to go forward from there. So, on to race 1. I really didn't get a very good start here. I'm going to put that partially down to the fact that the car I was driving had quite a slippy clutch, and you can probably hear the revs quite high when it's trying to drive forward, just as the clutch is engaging, which wasn't ideal. I also wasn't really paying attention. So, a combination of slippy clutch, dozy driver means not a very good start, and there's a huge gap when we do finally cross the line, which isn't great. And I'm just a bit slow as well, really, coming out the final corner with the car I wanted to pick up. So I do actually lose place on the run up to Christmas because of this really awful start. I'm trying to heat the tyres, no idea what to do. So yeah, there's a massive gap there, it's ridiculous. Coming into T1, T2, guys in front are fighting, which is quite good, it means I don't get away, but someone's just got steaming on the inside of me there. Coming up to Christmas for the first time, the Barrow has a bit of a contact, a bit of lock up there with someone. He makes a couple of places up, then decides to go to the outside, coming down to the hairpin. I decide to go to the inside. I'm on the brakes at this point, he dives into the apex, and unfortunately it's contact. He does come off quite badly, facing the wrong way. That's not ideal. But, I mean, there is space there to get 2 cars through, so he perhaps he just wasn't aware I was there on the inside. There's a car off there in the hook, and there's another one off here on the straight, broadside, and then finally coming into the boot section, Ryan Sandell is off there on the grass, which would come back later on to haunt him, unfortunately, as he was excluded, I think, from rejoining in an unsafe manner. So Simon Lish, just in front of me here, has had a bad exit out the final corner. I've definitely got a much better run than him coming up to Christmas. He brakes quite early and doesn't look like he's turning in particularly aggressively, so I just stick it up the inside. And thankfully he saw me, or just heard me, or a combination of the two, and didn't turn in on me, which was good of him. So hopefully things are going to calm down a bit coming into the hook again. There's a kart off. This is a different kart from the one on lap 1, so we've had multiple incidents and spins in the first couple of laps. There's Simon trying to come around the outside of me into the boot, but I wasn't having any of that. So lap 2 in the book. Hopefully now things are going to calm down a little bit, maybe. So coming up again up to Christmas corner. Hopefully no dramas. There's a yellow flag and another car that looks like it's probably had contact and is recovering. So I'll make up another place there. So I started 34th, and by this point, by the end of lap 3, I'm up to 28th. So it's probably one of the best starts I've actually managed this season, or the best opening sequence of laps. But what I have got is a bunch of much faster drivers behind me who are in the wrong places. So I fully expect they are going to be coming back past me sooner rather than later, if I'm honest. So on to lap 4. And I must admit, the first couple of laps, I was thinking I was going to get a penalty for contact with the lead at the hairpin on lap 1, but it didn't transpire. And I suppose on balance, perhaps first lap incident, he could perhaps have not turned in. I think perhaps he just didn't think I was that close, maybe thought there was some space. So it wasn't, a wild blunder on my behalf. I was already on the brakes, committed to the corner, and I would have made it as well. So, but not the way you make a place like that. So some of the faster guys are now recovering, coming back past me. It's fine. There's nothing I can really do at that point, and it's not worth fighting it. It will probably just slow me down and perhaps give people behind me a chance to close up. You see this guy just vanished. Pick your battles, I think, at this point. I mean, hopefully, perhaps next season pick up some more pace. Some of these people I might actually be fighting with genuinely on pace rather not. Ryan's just gone past me, but as I said earlier on, unfortunately for him, he drove really well from, obviously being off the track on lap 1 and made up a lot of places, but it was all for nothing when he was excluded, which is quite unfortunate. But the rules are there for all of us and to try and keep us safe. But I guess in the heat of the moment, you just want to get back on track and make up places. But yeah, quite unfortunate here. Weekend, to be honest, because race 2 didn't go very well either. Probably the first and only time he's going to finish behind me, I think, consistently. Not great for him. Another one of the much faster drivers recovering and just coming past me. But at this point, I'm actually just settling to hopefully a decent rhythm and try not to lose any places if I can. So after this point, nothing really much happens. So I'm going to skip forward to around about lap 17 when there's a bit more action to talk about. So we're now on to lap 17. And there's a group in front, but they're slowly pulling away from me. I'm not really closing them down at all. I was lapping fairly consistently in the high 55s, but then I get caught by some of the leaders and the pace drops off a bit, just through kind of moving slightly offline to let them past, or perhaps braking slightly earlier or slightly more than I normally would, just to make it really reasonably easy for them to make a clean pass. I mean, there is absolutely nothing to be gained by me holding them up, getting in their way, other than potentially one that gets frustrated and just end up being forced wide in a place I don't want to get forced wide. At least, if if I make the choice to allow them past, I can hopefully do that at a place and a time of my choosing, so that it has the least impact possible. So I think that's actually the leader that's just come past now, and then following on from this, I think it's a fairly large group of 3 or 4 carts that are chasing him down. They're going to come past me in a bit. I think actually coming up to the boot, they come past. No, I'm mistaken. It's clearly the next lap or somewhere else completely different on the circuit. At this point it looks like he's put a fairly decent gap on the guys behind. He's almost got the tyre. Oh, here we go. Another one of the leaders come through, I think. So yeah, he's got a decent gap at this point. And then I think there's going to be a big gaggle that's going to come past me at this point. Here we go. There's 3 cars come through just there coming into the boot. You can see I just really not anywhere near their pace. They've just gone past and they've opened a huge gap at this point. But you can see my lap times have dropped off a bit. We've gone from high 55s for quite a few laps to now low 56s and a 57, and that's going to have a bit of an impact. Down to the hairpin. Then there's the turn 7 and we're heading towards the hook again. And another fast driver passed. And at this point, that's Simon Lish, who's just gone past me there. So Simon's been chasing me down since lap 2 when I made that move on him to Christmas. So kudos to him for sticking at it and managing to stick with me. I don't know how close he was behind. I wasn't really paying attention, but whatever, he's managed to make the traffic work for him and he's managed to get through. And at this point I don't know whether it's just something like the tyres or just me not being able to get a good rhythm, but Simon manages to break away from me and make a little bit of a gap, and it really doesn't look like I'm going to manage to get back on terms with him at all. I mean, close up here under braking through the hook, but he gets a much better exit than me. I think potentially I'm too deep there. Then again, coming through the boot, I made a bit of a mess of that, and he opens up a bit of a gap. I've obviously compromised myself through the boot, and he just disappeared off into the distance. Despite that last lap actually being 55, not 56 or 57, he still opened up quite a big gap. Which is a little bit frustrating point of view. I passed him 18 laps ago, but hadn't managed to get away, and then he's managed to catch up and then use the traffic to get past. And as I said, at this point, he was just kind of basically gently pulling away from me. I wasn't really able to string together some decent laps and driving very smoothly. I just think I'm trying a bit too hard maybe to get back on terms with him, and it's just not translating into lap time. Particularly this last section seems particularly weak and he's pulling away again. That's it's another 56, but even so he's clearly running in the 55s, possibly low 55s given the distance he's pulled on me. There are a couple of places it looks like I might be gaining on him, but I think overall over the entire lap, I'm just, at this point of the race, just not And the fact that he didn't come straight back past me after that move on lap 2 suggests that earlier on, when I was lapping a bit more consistently in the sort of mid-55s, I wasn't making a gap, I was at least maintaining the gap, and it looks like that being caught by the faster guys just kind of messed with the rhythm a bit. Then he went past and I wasn't really able to, get back to that kind of consistency that I had for sort of 10 or so laps previously. It was just a bit frustrating. So at this point, it looks like Simon's put his back wheel on just on the grass coming into turn 7. He's hit the brakes and he's spun round. I've now been caught by a gaggle of other karts. I'll just leave this here. You can make your own mind up about that incident. I'm not saying anything. But yeah, really unlucky for Simon. I spoke to him after the race and said, once you passed me, you were quicker than me. There was nothing I could do to close you down, and then just unfortunately have a spin at that point. So we jumped forward again, went out to lap 27, so almost the end of the race. And this pass here is actually for position. Again, I don't really know where he came from, and perhaps the incident we had a few laps previously obviously slowed me up. I didn't want to get involved with hitting any of those 4 karts that were all kind of all over the place coming into the boot, and perhaps that's why this guy managed to catch me up. But he doesn't look massively quicker than me. To be honest, he's not driving away from me in the way that Simon did earlier on. So I'm just trying my best to try and keep close, particularly if I can get a good run out the last corner and through turn 1 and turn 2 up to Christmas. There's obviously a chance of making a move on the brakes up there. There's a reasonable amount of space on that corner, and if you don't do it at Christmas, there's the chance of getting a run down to the hairpin as well. So as I said, he's not really breaking away from me at this point. In fact, I think I'm actually closing up really. Definitely through the hairpin there. Seemed to maybe have a couple of goes at getting into the apex. It was certainly not that clean, and he's not just driven off away from me. Again, coming through the hook, I'm kind of keeping him honest. Into the boot, he gets a bit of a slide there, so I make up. I'm right on him there. So I'm definitely thinking, get a good exit out of the final corner, get a good run up to Christmas, and I've got a chance here of getting the place back. So we come through turn 1 into turn 2, and I'm really trying to turn the steering as little as possible, but I just mess it up, drop a wheel off onto the grass, and then I'm just mowing the lawn at about 40 miles an hour. Really, really frustrating, because I think I could have got that place back, but yeah, just trying to minimise the amount of steering input, trying to keep the car going forward as much as possible. The other problem I've got here is the tyres are just covered in grass at that point. I've got very little grip. For about half a lap, it was just a bit wayward. But yeah, just a bit frustrating. Stupid mistake of my own making, really. But can't be helped. But by the time various penalties have been applied throughout the field, I ended up actually finishing 30th, so I made up 4 places. Now on to race 2. So I do make a much better start this time. The car I've got in this race doesn't have an iffy clutch like the one I had in race 1, and I'm clearly not daydreaming or whatever else I was doing at the start of race 1. I mean, I was in the middle of nowhere by the time we got around to the start-finish line, so I'm much closer to the guy in front, paying much more attention to what's going on, and went out starting. In fact, he's much slower. I make contact and then lose a bit of ground. Right across the start-finish line, so we can do a brake formation. Pretty even start. A bit of excitement. Looks like it's happening on the left-hand side, but we're making our way up to Christmas for the first time. I'm trying to take it seems to have worked out right. No one's gone past me yet. Right, down to the hairpin. There's someone on my outside, and there's a bit of contact, and actually I do really well there. Staying on the inside line, I think I passed about 4 or 5 cars in one move at that point. There's a bit more action in front of me, people bumping and boring. Allows me to sort of get back on that pack, and coming down into the boot for the first time. Very opportune move there, which doesn't come off. The guy just drives straight past me. I suppose at least you've got to try and get a poor exit out of the final corner. And now people start coming past me. There's 2 there. I think there's going to be a third as we come up to Christmas. Yeah, there's another car. You can see the shadow there on the inside. Brake as late as I dare, but there's nothing I can do. He's through. He's kind of falls me wide, and yet another car on the inside. Oh, it's Simon again. So here we go, round 2, and yet another car. So not had the best of starts there. I mean, I was very lucky. The contact and the hairpin on lap 1, managed to make up a few places there, but subsequently pretty much lost all of them by this point. So coming around to start lap 2, it seems like I've been passed by an awful lot of cars, but I've only actually lost 1 place at this point. I've dropped back to 31st, which isn't too bad considering it looked like I've been passed by half the grid at that point. But again, the good thing is this group in front of me, they're not driving off into the distance. We haven't got a huge gap, at least at this point, that we had in race 1. And pace seems reasonably even with these guys in front of me. A bit less drama as well this time around. We haven't got carts off left, right and centre like we did have in race 1. And now it's just a case of, clearly these guys aren't really breaking away from me. So just get my head down, and maybe if I can pull some decent laps out of the bag, I can manage to make some of those places back up before everything is really spread out. We've got a cart coming out of the pits there, that's right again. I think he had an absolute stinker in race 2 as well. I don't know if it's cart problems, but he finished well down. So there's somebody making a move in front of me, and that's kind of helped the guy just in front of me up because they're battling a bit. So again, managing to close up. So I think I've definitely got a chance here. Just don't do anything stupid. That group's still there, they're not back far in front. I definitely seem to be quicker up the hill, the guy in front of me, so I think that definitely, if I bide my time, I reckon maybe a lap or so, I think there's a definite chance to move somewhere. Seem to be much better on the brakes there, coming into the hairpin, closed up a lot more space, coming into the hook again. Looks like he's just not, maybe just not as confident with the brakes, or maybe they're just not as effective. So I think we've definitely got a chance. So as long as I can get a good run, don't get a hugely encouraging exit out of the last corner, but still, again, he's not disappearing off into the distance. Yeah, definitely quicker up the hill. So maybe I've just got to start with a stronger car with a better top end. So it looked like I was definitely better on the brakes coming off the hairpin. I definitely managed to close up a bit there. So chance is on. There's a definite chance. Through into the hook, coming into the hook again. Do I close up the brakes? Yes, I do. Now can I get a good exit? Definitely got a good exit. I'm going to pull along to the inside, see if I can get past coming into the loop. It's basically a bit of a block pass. I guess it helped he probably didn't turn in on me, and maybe the fact that Ryan was coming up behind us as well helped maybe. I went through and perhaps Ryan followed straight behind me, which maybe convinced the guy not to turn in. Perhaps that got the move done, but anyway, I'm happy nonetheless to have got it done. But now there's a bit of a gap, you can see. So we jump forward a bit, lap 27 in fact, so you can tell that not a lot happened really. I was just pretty much driving around on my own. I'm in 31st at this moment, so net loss of a single place from starting position, and I'm kind of in no man's land. There's nobody in front of me, nobody behind. I'm just pretty much driving with myself. Fairly middling pace, to be honest. But at this point, I think I'm just want to finish the race and not do anything stupid. There's a faster guy just come past there, so nothing particularly to worry about, I think. So lap 28 now. I think we're probably about 4 laps at the end of the race, something like that. I think I might have done 32 laps, something like that. The leaders have done 1 lap more than me. But it's the only thing with the 30-minute race format. You can sometimes get a bit marooned in no man's land and just kind of nobody behind you, nobody in front of you. There are some quite big gaps towards our end of the grid, which do mean you can end up driving around your own for quite a while. But to be fair, that's part of the reason for doing SP60 is to give me track time, to get more comfortable and confident in the car, because without it, you're just really at a disadvantage to some of these guys who've been racing for 20, 30 years or something. So, although not a huge amount of action at times, it's beneficial for me, just to get that seat time. Even if there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to see. For me, it's still hugely beneficial. So we're coming into the hook, and there's a stationary yellow flag there. Down the short straight, and as we come into the boot, there's a waved yellow flag because there's a car stopped here completely dead on the inside. That's a convenient place to make up, I guess. Someone's misfortune is my fortune. I can't really complain. Across the line for another lap. So I actually ended up finishing 29th by the time all the various penalties were applied. Only 1 place up from my starting position. I wasn't actually too unhappy, to be honest, given the struggles I had on the previous visit to this track. Although the conditions were very different, I was concerned that I'd just struggle again because I wasn't confident, thinking too much about what happened last time. But it was okay, and I definitely made progress in comparison with the races at Whilton Mill last year. And I'm only really a second off of being right in the midfield, so it's definitely